Hello, Digidestins. This is Kyle D, better known as Ridemyavatar, and today we're going over BT6's black decks. You voted, you got them in. Remember, polls up today again, and let's see how well we do with these black decks. Let me know down in the comments what you think of all these deck lists, and remember, hopefully you guys like, comment, subscribe on this video, and let's dive right in. So first deck we're going to cover is none other than D-brigade. D-brigade got some solidly decent support in BT6, not in the form of the Commandromon line or even another Darkdramon, but overall the trial decks introduced new ways of supporting them, plus they gain access to the Izzy and Joe Keto from last evolution, because if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, gain 2 memory, allowing us to essentially keep rookie rushing for a little bit less than, so we have a way of gaining stuff. But when one of your black Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to draw a card. We gain a little of a draw engine, which this deck kind of needed. It was doing quite fine without it, but now with it, it has more options to go into stuff. So let's go over real quick what we're running. First up, Machinimon is in here. So while this Digimon has D-brigade in its type, it gets plus 1000 DP. So as long as we get the Commandromons, which we play 16, we will see majority of the time we'll gain an extra inheritable. But we also run this Pagumon. So on deletion, reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand if it is a black Digimon card, otherwise place it at the bottom of the deck. This allows us to have a draw advantage that we normally didn't have, so that we can get to our pieces a lot faster than we were before. We're trying to make this a deck a little more of a draw engine, since this Commandromon is a vanilla, basically this one's a vanilla, and this is the only one that kind of replaces itself on deletion. So reveal the top 3 cards. You may place 1 Commandromon from among them, place without paying its memory cost, place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Since we want to filter and get to pieces faster, we want to see the Commandromon so we can go into our Darkdramon plays and just make our opponent cringe. So we do have Commandromon that is a blocker, so he's here to go on top of Pagumon, so that if he's deleted, we get to check the top even on both players' turn. But he also combos well with the Izzy and Joe, because he will be most likely deleted and drawing a card. So why are we playing Dracomon in this deck? So on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a Digimon with Drawmon in its name, place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So Commandromon, Darkdramon, Magnadramon, kind of get the theme, right? And then Slashdramon is all in here for the fact of getting us a free +1 card. We can grab pretty much anything, with most of our deck designed to have a ability to get us some sort of advantage. Really does help out. So that's what we're trying to do. We're going to use him, hard cast him, then basically gain some free advantage. Then we can also digivolve into the Cordramon to draw us 1, but if we are our hard play Cordramon, if we have enough memory, depending on our situation, we can draw 2, and he could be for free, because we can go to 5 pretty much, or more, depending if we have another Sora and Joe out, just because our opponent's playing. We play Mechanorimon. So Mechanorimon is in here for the one reason, for the rookie rush matchup. We play it down. They have to somehow get rid of this thing first, and that might buy us a few turns to just keep them at bay. So that is why we run that. We also play the Darkdramon mentioned earlier, because it combos so well with the D-brigade, and this is a way of guaranteeing us to have the memory to be able to play and not pass to their turn, which is really good. Next, we do play Magnadramon, but the fact of the matter is we play a really solid security package that we do want to recover. This deck sometimes against heavier aggro decks can be really overpressured, so we want to be able to recover up, get some extra advantage back into the game, because if we get Zawart Defeat in there, an Ultimate Flare, we kind of get an extra few turns. And then we also have Iron Fist Onslaught. Delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. So if it's a tie, you get to delete every single one. So there's 2 Omnimons, you blow up both, and congratulations, you just blew up 2 Omnimons for nothing. And we play Omnimon Zawart so that after we do our Darkdramon play, we can mill the top, then put these back on top how we want, then force them milled out, and then we can get the Commandramon and then the blocker Commandramon back onto the field, and the Commandramon that recycles itself gets another use out of it. So it's very useful in my opinion. If you don't know what Ultimate Flare does, it's really interesting. Trigger Indeed Digievolution 3 on your opponent's Digimon, and then if you have no Digievolution cards or become a level 3 Digimon, you can't trash any more cards. Then delete all your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 3 or less. So anything that got a 3, they're rookies. Most of the time are completely cleared out. Again, this deck is just to punish Rookie Rush for being a deck. So this is D-brigade. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the list. Next list we're going to talk about is something a little spicy. So this one is known as Royal Knight. This deck is probably one of the most top tier decks that is for black because of the way it interacts with everything. So first off, we have Pagumon. So reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand if it's a black Digimon card. Otherwise, place it at the bottom of your deck. Really good skill. And then we have Kaporimon. If while this Digimon has blocker, it gains plus 1000 DP on our turn. So it really does help out. We play Ridemyavatar because it's a 1 cost 2 drop. Same with Commandramon. 2 cost free vanilla. Nothing too spicy here. Nothing too crazy. Next, we do play Toyagumon for the reboot to get extra swings out of the deal that our opponent might not want us to have, especially since we can swing with a blocker. It'll restand. We'll have it for next turn, and then they have to deal with us having a restanding blocker. This Chikorimon is nuts. This card can punish your opponent, especially when it gets revealed in security. If you face like what is it? Bonds of Friendship, anything like that warp Digivolve up, their multi-attacking just got shut down because you de-Digivolve them to their rookie stage, and they can't play out like that, especially if you do it against the Ancients. The Ancients get knocked down to their champion form. They're not going to be replacing themselves at the end phase, which is mind-boggling amazing that we can prevent that if this gets revealed during their combo turn, so that they can't keep going for these crazy big swings. Now we have a mon that could probably block it out without losing any resources. We play Senzorimon Promo. This card is all your black Digimon with 3000 or more DP gain piercing. Very likely with the lineup we have. And then while this Digimon is black, it has 13,000 DP or more. This Digimon gains security +1. I think that is fantastic, being able to have extra security attacks on poke. I think 1 is kind of fine. You could play more and take out other cards, but I think we don't. He's really just there for his pierce effect, since we want to have that power boost. We do play Tankdramon for that quick evolution. We're playing a very turbo-ish deck. Next, we have Mechanorimon. For the fact of the matter is, it shuts down Rookie Rush and helps just be an annoying blocker that just keeps you restanding. You can get a couple blocks in. Next, we play Dark Tyrannomon. For the fact is, Dark Tyrannomon is a 1-cost blocker. Then we have Magnadramon. So Magnadramon is an inheritable blocker, so that we can give a reboot to something, and then our effects just keep going off, and we're just punishing our opponent. We play Rebellionmon. So this card is purple. Yes, we know that it's purple, but on all turns, this Digimon is also treated as a black card. So you may, but what's really nice is it's when Digivolving. When Digivolving, you may trash a card in your hand to have the Digimon gain blocker. Then it also gains Retaliation. When this Digimon deletes after losing a battle, delete one of your opponent's Digimon until the end of your opponent's next turn. So if you Digivolve Rebellion up, it still has the blocker inheritable and it's got the retaliation. So if they swing into it and it loses, you're still taking out their Mon with your Mon. It's ridiculously strong, very powerful. Your opponent just has to deal with Rebellion Mon, and it's really good. It's a very cheeky skill, but I think it's a great card in this line as being its ultimate. It doesn't have an inheritable, but that on Digi-Evolution is just beautiful, and being treated as a black card to Digivolve our top line is just so good. We play Craniumon for that 3 Musketeer matchup and that annoying security control. Yes, they have their Wyvern stuff, but we can try to get above them very easily with our added support. So we're hoping to get above their Magic 15 killer. So that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to hit that 15 mark and be above them. Next, we play Genkumon. So delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play costs. Then while your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon, this Digimon gains security +1. He's going to punch through, get us an extra couple security pokes. And if we can get him with Magnadramon underneath him, Greymon just protects him through pretty much any red spell, purple spell, anything that would just naturally delete. And that's really awesome. Next, we do play Alphamon. So in security, at the end of battle, add this card to your hand. Then if you have a Digimon with Royal Knight or extra antibody and its type in play, up to 12 of your opponent's Digimon can't attack the player for the turn. So what's really nice is if you hit this against Rookie Rush, if they hit this, pretty much prevent their turn for the whole thing, or against any other rushy deck, they just can't swing. If they restand, they can't do anything. This card is to help against the Bonds of Friendship deck that just loves getting multiple attacks in, shuts it down, they can't attack, which is solid. But there's a little catch to this 22. So it only targets at the moment of reveal. So if they only have like 5 Mons out, you only get that prevent those 5. If they play a Digimon with a Rush or anything like that, that Digimon can actually still swing in. So because this isn't a blanket effect to count to 12, it is target 12 on the board at the time of reveal. So definitely keep that in mind. When attacking, you may pay 5 memory. If you do, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP for the turn for each memory paid. End of attack, gain 2 memory, which is really nice. So if you pay 5, and as long as you're pretty much only paying 3 at the end of the attack, so you gain 2 back, which is not bad. He can become really beefy really quickly just to get over those nasty big combo boards. Omnimon's Award is in here for playing our ultimates back, just to get back into the Digimon, maybe Digivolve on top of Craniumon. And then we play the Megadramon out, then we swing in, blow up a 12 play cost, then take our Craniumon from underneath, play it on the Megidramon or on Rebellionmon, so that we have this nice Craniumon back at it, boys and girls, to create protection. So again, very solid card. Black Memory Boost is reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Black Digimon card from among them to your hand. It just helps us filter, which we really like doing in this deck. Then we play the tie. Tie is to help get our blockers higher than the minusing DP effects, because then we only have to worry about like Wyvern Burst in this format, which takes out 15. But if we can get above, normal yellow decks struggle a little bit. Once you can get above that threshold, you can get, I think it's like 15. They struggle really hard removing your stuff. Next, we do see Izzy, Joe, Keto. So if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, gain 2 memory. This is to help punish Lord Nightmon. While you have when one of your black Digimon is deleted, suspend this tamer, draw a card. Helps us recycle lost field presence, which is really nice. So that is what I think would be a solid start point for anybody that is planning on building Royal Knight Black. Next, let's talk about Big Black Blocker. This is like security control meets big black blockers. So we're playing a bunch of blocking Digimon. They're we kind of already know. We play one Shikatomon, so it's just in here for us to be able to use our red spells free of charge, well, with memory, but being able to hard cast them from hand. Garderomon's in here for being a blocker. Then we have Mechanorimon for being a blocker that restands against Rookie Rush. Once you play that, they have a lot of trouble taking care of it. Androidmon is in here to be a blocker as well. Then we have Infernmon for the on-play DCG Evolution 1, just to get rid of a big threat. We can definitely take care of it. Next, we play Machinedramon in here to de-digivolve our opponent's Digimon, but it's also a big blocker. So being able to de-digivolve 2 mons might mean that they have to reclimb up, and that's sometimes a big trouble for them. Next, we play Brylutamon to help us gain our big top ends of Megas, our Omnimons, all our Omnimons that we play, in to have blockers so that when Cranimon's on board, they're protected and they can't be pretty much stopped by anything that is security that is trying to delete them. Craniumon is in here to prevent our blockers from being blown up. You know what Alter S is in here for. Alter S is to help de-digivolve wide boards to helpfully get rid of the Rookie Rushes that we will be facing, and then being able to delete all our opponents Digimon with 5,000 DP or less is ridiculous, and then being able to make him unblockable is solid. Then we have Omnimon Zawart to help us get back our blockers back on board, just to help. If they are deleted, we're going to just go into this, play 2 blockers, make our opponent cringe, or we just de-digivolve them twice with double Infernmon, which could be a problem as well. We play 1 X antibody because we play enough Omnimons to justify a top end of an X antibody protection turn, and then just swing in and delete their stuff, make them cringe really badly. We have Omnimon Zawart Defeat for its security, which is what we want him to pop off and security come in for free, and then we can go into X antibody if we wanted to, or just keep swinging while we have Man and Tie out, take out 2 security checks. This gets really ridiculous quickly. We play 2 ultimate flares to digivolve one of our opponent's Digimon and then delete all, play cost 3 or less, which is really nice. We play Black Memory Boost to help filter and hopefully get to a piece we need that might help out, get us an out, especially since people like to choke you, and this can help play a turn where that we couldn't play a 13, our Craniumon down, but now we can, which is really nice. We have Transcendent Sword to delete one of our opponent's Digimon with 11,000 DP. But if we do have an Omnimon on board, we get to delete a opponent's Digimon with 15,000 DP, which is really nice. Then we have Gaia Force being Gaia Force to delete one of our opponent's Digimon. Atomic Blasters in here to delete any ultimates or wide boards that we see. And just really nice card. Really solid removal package right here. If we're facing against a Craniumon deck, we cry a little bit because they'll just hard cast a Craniumon down and just go right into us. Tai Kamiya is in here for if you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3, but it also gives our blockers a little more punch for their buck. Next, we do also play Tai Kamiya. So while you have a blocker, suspend one of your Digimon. You may unsuspend this tamer. You may suspend this tamer to unsuspend one of your Digimon. So just so that if we block with Craniumon, we get a secondary shot at it. Is a really nice effect. We also play the Tai Kamiya and Matt Ishida for the fact is start of turn. If you have a level 6 or higher Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. If this Digimon with Omnimon in its name, gain security +1. So we want to take out extra security. We're going to be really aggressive with this deck. Very solid pick. I think this could take on some very much powerful head decks. Next, let's talk about Diaboromon. Diaboromon really only got a small upgrade in the Karasurimon with Decoy Black and White. This deck still struggles a little bit in this format because we don't have a crazy amount of support. But what's really nice is if we can get Toy Agumon out soon enough, if your opponent didn't attack with a Digimon, trigger draw 1, we can help draw advantage. I think Toy Agumon's a really solid tech choice, in my opinion, allowing you to gain some sort of card advantage going into the long game, since our bottom line doesn't have to do crazy much. But we have Tsurimon, so while you have another Digimon in play with the same name as this Digimon, gain plus 2000 DP. We play enough Coromons so that we hopefully gain this just to gain a little beefiness. But we also have Tsurimon as when attacking, if this Digimon has unidentified in its typing, draw a card. We do play enough unidentified types that it should trigger off mostly all the time. We do play Caramon, so if we make a Diaboromon token while we have Diaboromon out, we gain a free draw. So in this it's not once per turn, so you can draw multiple times. Caramon's in here. This Caramon's in here to reveal the top 5 cards of our deck. Add a Digimon with unidentified type in its name and one of the Tamer Artera card from your hand, from among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck. We're hopefully trying to hit at least Diaboromon in this just to set up what we need. Caramon is in here for that 1000 DP. Like I mentioned earlier, Toyagumon, if we can get it out, if they're not swinging in and we're just controlling the board a bit, we can gain some nice draw advantage out of this. Kisurimon is when you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, gain 1 memory. Really solid if we can get underneath. We have Mechanorimon being Mechanorimon with blocker, just because we need a way of taking on wider board, faster decks that are especially trying to rookie rush us. You can keep blocking away. Kisurimon is to give all our Diaboromon rush, and if we don't have Altera in play, we may play one from our hand without paying its memory cost. Free for 2 is not bad. This is the decoy creator. This will help make sure that our main Diaboromon doesn't get blown up by card effects, and then we just kind of redirect it to the token. Next, we do play Infirmon to reduce our Diaboromons to a 2 cost, which is really nice. Then we play a War Mumsymon to hopefully gain a free, well, we Digivolve for 2, and then we can go right into Diaboromon real quick. Doesn't matter because this costs a little cheaper. Next, we do have Infirmon to help Warp Digivolve our Caramon into it, which is really nice because Warp Digievolution does help out. But play 1 Diaboromon token on deletion, play 1 Diaboromon token without paying its memory cost, create, which is really nice because if it's deleted, then we get at least a 1-for-1 replacement. Yes, it doesn't really matter as much because it's not a Diaboromon with an effect, but at least Armageddonmon will be able to sack it the next turn and just come in and clear house. Then we have Diaboromon with the extra security promo. This card is just to start clearing out security that our opponent will be trying to build up on. We have Diaboromon that when Digivolve and create a token, we love creating tokens, and then we make like a bunch of them with our Tamer. So 1 Diaboromon token means we might have 3 Diaboromon tokens by the end of this. So really nice being able to create a wide board for basically 3 memory as long as you set up prior turns. Armageddonmon's in here to be Armageddonmon, just to go trample over things and be a rush target. We have Catastrophe Cannon. This card is really good, digivolving a big Digimon down by 2 for 4 is really good, and it also has, if a Diaboromon's in play, we produce a token. So as long as we're producing tokens, we're getting free Diaboromon bodies, making up for this card deck's lack of power behind creating multiple stacks. It sometimes troubles some to get actually. Next, we do have Ultimate Flare, being Ultimate Flare, Digivolve 3, and one of your opponent's Digimon, just so that we can just delete all cost 3 or less. Next, Artera. This is if you have a Digimon with unidentified in its typing in your trash, gain 1 memory. So if we have 4 of these out, no matter what they're doing, they're going to give us +4, which is ridiculous. And then if we can make a Diaboromon come forwards, we can create optimal plays that our opponent just will hate, because 1 Diaboromon token creates 5 Diaboromon tokens basically. So with 1 Digievolution, which is ridiculous at times, and our opponent just might not be able to keep up with it. So definitely keep an eye out for this deck. Next, we are playing Jesmon Jesmon Royal Knight Sistermon combo. So this allows us to do so because our ultimate package is Gigadramon, which counts itself as a red type, and then Megadramon, which counts itself as a black type. So we can Digivolve into our top end with no issues, which is really solid for us at the end of the day. So Megadramon is this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP on our turn, which makes our mons a little more beefier. And then Gigadramon is opponent's turn, this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP. So that it means our Craniamon sits at a lovely 14k very easily. Next, we do have Comporimon. So while this Digimon has blocker, it gains plus 1000 DP. I think it's a pretty solid tech choice, being that we do play enough blockers that this should keep our blockers a little more tankier, beefier, which we want to be able to swing in with some of them. If we swing in, we kind of, especially with a Craniamon, we want to swing in and have her survive a swing. Next, we have Commandramon in here, being Commandramon, a vanilla. Next, we have Kachorimon for Digivolving in that security, which we love to see. Making our opponent's mon smaller is super important. Toy Agumon's in here to give our blockers an extra 1000 DP all turns. So Craniamon just getting bigger and bigger and being that beefy target we know and love to this day. We play Sistermon Blanc while you have a Digimon with Hackmon or Hawkmon in its name, or Digimon with Royal Knight in its type. All your Digimon with Sistermon in their name gain blocker. So yeah, I'm gonna make our Sistermons with Craniamon on board free untargetable blockers, which is really nice. And on play trigger draw 1. So with Jestmon free playing these Sistermons back after they're used up just means we're going to have a lot of advantage for days. We have Clockmon in here to keep our Digimon big and beefy on their turn, which is really nice. We have Mechanorimon being a Rookie Rush deterrent. Dark Tyrannomon's in here for being a 1-cost evolution and deterrent. We also have Sistermon Seal, so all turns your Digimon with Hackmon in their name or Royal Knights gain plus 2000 DP. So yeah, we like getting beefy, like getting big really quick. We can get out of yellow's minusing range pretty quickly with this deck, which is really what the idea behind this is to get so big on the top end that our opponent can't remove our Digimon so easily with their minusing effects. Gigadramon's in here, so this Digimon, I mentioned this before, gaining extra DP on our opponent's turn just to help us get out of situation, and it does count as a red Digimon, and this one counts as a black one and gaining power on our turn. So Koreamon's in here to help play the protect the castle style with blockers, especially with 3 Musketeers roaming around. It gets really annoying quickly if they can just delete our mons, but with Koreamon on board, most of our blockers now just straight up don't care, and they don't need to worry about just giving our Sistermon by Sistermon Blanc alone giving more blockers on board with all Craniamons on board means our opponent isn't using any of their security to blow them up, which means we have longevity in our cards. We play Alphamon just because he is a Royal Knight, but at the end of battle, add this card to your hand. If a Digimon with a Royal Knight or X antibody is in play on both sides of the field, up to 10 of your opponent's Digimon can't attack a player for that turn. But like I mentioned earlier, when we saw this card only sees what's on board present. It doesn't put a blanket of 12 attacks total. So sadly, that is what happens. When attacking, you may pay up to 5 memory. If you do this, Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for each memory paid. And then at the end of the attack, gain 2 memory. So pretty much you could pay 3 to gain 2 memory regardless when it swings in, and it just gets beefy. So it becomes a 16k on its own while you paid that 5, and then you gain 2 memory back. So it's pretty much 3 for 5000 DP, which is not bad. Then we have Jestmon being Jestmon. When attacking, you may play a card with Sistermon in its name from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. Once per turn, when you play another Digimon, this Digimon gains plus 3000 DP and Pierce. So Sistermons will draw us advantage, gain us memory, and give us another blocker on board. Really solid. Alteress is in here to be that black-red option that we can Digivolve on our Megas to de-Digivolve and then wipe a board if possible. Iron Fist Onslaught, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP play cost, which if it's a tie, you delete both, which is really good. We play 1 Tai Kamiya to give our blockers an extra memory resetter to 1. And then we also play Izzy Joe Kido, just for that if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, gain 2 memory. When one of your black Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this tamer to trigger +1. And then we play Tive to have our Greymon restand after choosing to block with it, or our Systemons if they survive to restand, just to give us another blocker that our opponent just doesn't want to deal with. So again, guys, hopefully you enjoyed these deck profiles. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!